Minneapolis, Minnesota for the Vikings Cowboys game.
Crack him if you got him.
Son! Shit, that thing's dope, man.
I love it.
You want Sam Williams? Sam Williams? I want a linebacker, but Let's go, Cowboys! Let's go, Cowboys! Let's go, Cowboys! Cowboys can't bad, baby. Let's go, son. Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Welcome to Minnesota. Podcast, we talk about us arriving here, our trip, what we're going to be doing in the next week or so, and we asked...
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Let's go. How about them Cowboys?
Crack 'em if you got 'em. Yeah! Let's go, baby. Please hit him. Somebody punch him, please.
Hey, you want one of these? Coors?
You got a yellow belly, you knew exactly what
I know, you were looking me up and down. I knew what you wanted. You want a banquet?
Yes.
Crack him if you got him!
Jerry, pick us up, Jerry. We're not worthy.
Cowboys can fan.
Cowboys can fan.
Like Canadian fan, can fan.
Oh.
Cowboys can't win.
Love Canada.
Yeah.
I'll look you up.
Awesome, thanks brother. Take care, man. And look, that's how you get subscribers. And nowadays, it's a dog-eat-dog world. It's a dog-eat-dog world. We got to go on the street to get subscribers now.
I'll be like, there'll be a guy at the grocery store and I'll hear him say something about Facebook. I'm like, oh, you do Facebook? You ever heard of CanFan? At Cowboys CanFan. Have you ever checked us out at Cowboys CanFan on any major platform? Because we're on all of them.
Dude, go to tiktok.com/@CowboysCanFan.
We have a channel, yeah.
What's your channel?
Cowboys Can Fan.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm
Cowboys
from Puerto Rico.
Can Fan. We're from Canada, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's Can Fan on his shirt there.
I'm gonna watch that when I go on.
Yeah, do it. You guys will be on our YouTube.
Can I come all the way to Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico? Hell yeah.
See, that's
Son of a bitch.
Let's go. We're gonna be cracking them if we got them, baby. Let's go. Not often are you gonna have the Vegas Strip shut down like this, so we're gonna take advantage of it. And we're gonna shotgun one for you, son. Crack them if you got them, son. Woo! Crack them if you got them, son.
You got Raleigh, come on.
I've never met a real Eagles fan in real life. I'm from Canada. This is my first time out of my country. Well, hey, I don't say this often, but go f yourself.
Only an Eagles fan would have to promote a Giants or a different club's signage to try to get friends.
Crack them if you got them, son.
Crack him if you got him.
Hey, he hasn't heard though. Do you know who's winning the Super Bowl next year?
Boosh! Oh! Crack 'em if you got 'em, son! Crack them if you got them, son.
Sup. Get a third crack. We got 3 crack'ems up in here. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the Cowboys Camp Fan Podcast main event.
And the two brothers are both wearing the Crack 'em if you got 'em shirts, but only one brother is drinking alcohol. Aha! What? No, not a.
What's that?
Not a sideways squirrely. Like you had a big weekend, eh?
Well, so some behind baseball. The reason I'm not drinking alcoholic beverages currently is I jumped on a scale yesterday, and let's just say I could go without a couple crackums for 2 or 3 weeks. So I might be dry until about training camp, and then I'll be back into them. But let's just say that the scale was not nice to me.
Hey, sometimes you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. But
Know
don't
when
worry,
to walk away.
and we'll be picking up your pace. We're getting fourth quartered every podcast.
That's right, baby.
Especially on the Tuesday night edition. I don't think we've ever done this on a Tuesday. I think this is a first.
Yeah, and
Maybe
and
in the past,
in the past we've done a Tuesday before. I mean, and obviously
not
just
for a long ass time that I can remember.
it'll only be temporarily for the next couple of weeks. We have some alternate days.
Yeah,
I have the kids to take to.
we've got
So
a young-
Tuesdays are
stuff.
is Tuesday going to be our new time?
I think it'll be a work in progress. We'll see how today goes, but we're just gonna say, and we'll be honest, it's things might be a little hard to find us. We're gonna be sneaking out of we're gonna be like Sting coming down from the rafters.
Yeah, you just don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, what
But we
can-
will try to pick a day. Tuesday first. It might be. We might.
and,
Does
and
that mean
typi-
we can wear face paint?
yeah, we can wear face paint, and typically we'll try and do it like typically we'll try to do it like a day or so in advance, just to give people a little bit of time. I know, how
But it's
people-
because this young stud, who you can see right now,
no, thank you.
is becoming a CFL star.
CFL.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
and
CFL.
and he wears Dallas Cowboys jerseys to practices, and he gets made fun of a lot.
Like at practice.
Do you want to tell them what your number is?
20.
TP20.
TP20,
Following
baby.
TP20. All right.
And I don't know if this is Jerry Jones sending out his vibes in the world, but when we see Adam's young stud of a son in his playing ability,
Yep.
I think that this is calling out what Tony Pollard's going to do this year. He's going to be a track star running back, as well as Hot Hands McGee out in the flats. That's my prediction.
Hot Hands McGee in the flats. I love it. Our boy R2's up in the house. R2 saying, Cowboys can fan, what's up from South Texas? Let's hear some great information on the Cowboys. Cheers. Go Cowboys. America's
Hell yeah.
team.
He always wants that great information, and I'm looking forward to some great information on. Hey, we're live on TikTok right now, aren't we?
You know it, dog.
Cowboys at Cowboys Can Fan on TikTok if you haven't followed it. And this is the Cowboys Can Fan podcast. You can follow us on all social media at Cowboys Can Fan and on YouTube at youtube.com/Cowboys Can Fan. Guys, let's do it. We didn't have our Sunday show. Again, we're kind of waiting for training camp to get here. We're pretty much at the silent
off-season.
part of the season.
Yeah,
it's
it's
as silent as
off-season.
it gets.
I saw this meme that I can't remember the exact dates, but it was like of all the sports in championships, this is like the dead season of all sports. Everything worth kind of being excited about is about 60 plus days away from this date. So like obviously there's sports going on, but championships and shit are like I think baseball's being played 13 months a year. Is it or?
I don't follow baseball.
Well,
But I do wear baseball hats.
hell yeah. Well, I have
Ball caps.
if there's no big information
don't-
to jump on, and I looked, I didn't really see anything pressing, but we have 3 options that we can hop into, and I can throw that out to the boys here.
Let's hear it for the boys.
Well, we have the 2023 Dallas Cowboys roadmap. We were going to hop into this, but we had a great episode. Put it off for a couple of weeks. It's still relevant. And that it just kind of details the 2023 season. Lots of little tidbits for us to chat about there. It's a good article.
Love it. That's the great information that our boy R2, aka Rolando Rodriguez, wants to look.
Then we have our another article based on the fantasy predictions for the Dallas Cowboys, which can lead to our own predictions. And then finally, I went through and did my best to try to find a story through mean memes for the Dallas Cowboys. So I have not every single week, but roughly from camp to the final game of the
2022 season.
2022 season. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, whatever we want to start with. I think personally the memes might be a good ender, a good closer.
I think whatever you
Roadmap. Let's roadmap it, baby.
Roadmap it. I love it.
Let's get that roadmap. Let's see it. Get it up on the screen.
Roadmap it and roadmap it.
Okay, so
Roadmap and
is-
beer pops.
this is an article from Adam Rank on NFL.com.
Oh, I gotta read.
Stanky Ranky.
No one wants to see your little toolbar. Let me get rid of that.
Get rid of that toolbar. Oh, I can. You know what? I usually don't have it up. That's the problem. Or
no,
it's fine. Okay.
No, it's good.
The title that they have for here, the state of the 2023 Dallas Cowboys heat is on Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott to lead deep playoff run. That's probably all I'll be able to read from the article because I'm sitting away from my computer screen. But that, to me, I think that's pretty fair. There's a lot of heat on both McCarthy and Dak Prescott, which is funny because we've talked about it. They're coming off of a 12-5 season back-to-back years and back-to-back postseason appearances, but it does feel like both those guys are on the hot seat.
Oh, for sure.
100%. I mean, now everything's there's no more excuses left that are like fair, in my opinion. Sans another big incident where someone is not able to play. But we're not going to bring that into our reality here. We're not bringing that into this Marvel universe. Well, let's get into kind of his first point. Thanks, Adam Rank. You stank.
Stanky
Ranky.
Here he's going up. We don't actually want to see him. We just want to read what you got to say.
Okay, so where does your squad stand? That's not it. Okay, there we are.
Well, we're not. I mean, we can go through and read this all, but I just want to read the highlights, right?
So highlight it up.
Here's a Anth. I don't know. Can you read those?
Yeah.
No, you give me go.
Okay, so 2022 rewind. Let's just kick it back a little.
Kick it back. Rewind.
One high from last season. The Cowboys were actually good last year, and I know saying actually is kind of low key diss because it seems surprised, but they were actually good. A lot of people also thought the Cowboys would lose in the opening round of the playoffs to the playoffs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. But instead, they went out and smoked them 31-14 in Brady's last game ever.
Arguably the Cowboys' best game of the season. There was a lot at stake. The pressure was on. The Cowboys had never beat Tom Brady. We were away. So there was a bunch of stuff stacked against the Cowboys, and they came out and played a full game sans Maher missing 5-point after tries or whatever it ended up being. But Dak played flawless. The team looked awesome, and we sent Brady into retirement, and it seemed like all sails were up and we were ready to cruise through all the way to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
We were ready to blues clues it all the way to the Super Bowl.
And that type of inconsistency that we saw from this game and then the following week, the following week in San Francisco, it's like that type of inconsistency with Dak is what the intelligent people can pull out and say, here's a good example of why I might think that Dak is not that guy. I'm not agreeing with that, but I'm saying that's probably one of the most fair examples that you can give these two.
Well, that's why he's on the hot seat, realistically.
Yeah, absolutely.
One low from last season. You want to alternate?
We'll alternate.
One low from last season. Our boy Ezekiel Elliott, number 21, lining up at center for the final play of the game against the 49ers. You can close your eyes and picture right now. It wasn't bad in theory, much like Crystal Pepsi wasn't bad in theory. Actually, it was a bad idea.
I have a feeling this is going to make Alex's meme list. It has to. The Zeke taking a snap at center. If that didn't make the meme list, you are not a meme lord.
And
I mean, could you miss it? That's what I want to ask.
Yeah, and just like that, R2 is saying Cowboys can fan on NFL Total Access. Jane Slater said the Cowboys are not talking about signing Zeke. Yeah, after he can't play center, I don't think they'd be re-signing Zeke either.
Agreed.
Cheers, go Cowboys! Football emoji.
Sorry, are not talking. So they're okay.
They're not, so that the Cowboys are not talking about re-signing Zeke.
Okay.
Because a lot of the rumors over the last little bit here has been about the Zeke re-signing. I just wanted to bring that up because of the. It's funny, yeah. You can close your eyes and picture Zeke getting just fucking. I
mean, poor Zeke. What the hell was he thinking?
Nothing.
He's like,
well,
okay.
It's also shitty. That's his last play as a Dallas Cowboy. Possibly. That's the shitty. That's the shitty spot of it. I just hope wherever Zeke goes, I hope he gets a good chance, and I hope he has a bounce back because the image of him lining up at center, I remember we were screaming. I was screaming, that's a meme when it happened.
Yeah. You knew right away.
Cut to the clip.
Yeah. And one day we're going to have that power.
Oh, we will.
Just you wait. 2023 VIPs. So I think we can guess the first one here on offense, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, I love Dak. I do. But he can be frustrating at times. Oh, tell me about it, Stank.
Tell me, Stanky Ranky.
He was absolutely brilliant against the Bucks in the playoffs, racking up five total touchdowns and 305 yards passing. The following week, we just talked about this, Dak threw just over 200, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions in the loss to the 49ers. Not that one should be expected to light it up on a defense like San Francisco's unit, but Dak needs to avoid mistakes like the picks, especially the one in the red zone to Fred Warner. That was exceptionally exasperating. Maybe the switch to Mike McCarthy as a play caller will give us a more consistent Dak. We're about to find out.
So just even this article being on NFL.com, they're in the same situation as us right now. Unfortunately, they don't have anyone to steal this kind of stuff from. So they're basically going back and doing the roadmap of the Cowboys because there's nothing else for them to talk about currently.
Well,
there just isn't. It's in a weird lull, but it is fun to go through. This is bringing all the back shitty memories of the season.
It's not stealing if we're commentating on it.
We are.
Sorry, I didn't mean stealing. I meant thieving.
But with this
remixing, we're remixing it.
This is now we're looking forward, right? So,
some would say we're looking forward a la Zeke at center.
Projected 2023 MVP.
Do you want me to read that?
You guessed it. Yeah, go for it.
Projected 2023 MVP, yeah boy, Micah Parsons, aka the linebacker. Parsons has 26.5 sacks in his first 2 seasons. If you would have followed our last 2 weeks of the show, you would have saw us break Micah Parsons down versus all-time linebackers and all-time linemen. So you would know that the 26.5 sacks, like I want that to be some sort of trivia so that all 3 of us would be like 26.5. In his first 2 seasons, he's the third player to post 12 plus sacks in each of his 2 first NFL campaigns since individual sacks were first recorded in 1982, joining Aldon Smith and Reggie White.
Just 1 second on here on that.
Yep.
I think that's awesome because it shows you the 2 different pathways you can go. The route of Aldon Smith or the route of Reggie White.
Yeah,
very, very different paths those guys took. Very, very different paths.
Yeah. And so as much as, I think Micah Parsons is going to follow the path of the Reggie White way, the white way, as you will. No racial commentary. But I think that's where he's going. It is like, okay, he needs to come out there and play though, because we've seen this done. It's not just Aldon Smith and Reggie White, as you said. We've gone through and looked at people's history, and there's quite a handful of names who did very well in their first 2 years, and then something just happened. They petered right out and might have had a, lengthy career, but they certainly dropped right off.
And I mean, we broke it down extensively. Check out our last 2 episodes. We break down Micah Parsons versus the world. So Quinn changed how the boys deployed Parsons in his second year. I find this an interesting paragraph here. Mm-hmm. So boys deployed Parsons in his second year. He played...
What the hell?
He played 82.6% of the snaps on the line of scrimmage in 2020. Sorry, Alex's screen went into screensaver mode. Okay, let's start. Quinn changed how the boys deployed Parsons in his second year. He played 82.6% of the snaps on the line of scrimmage in 2022 per Next Gen Stats, 49.7% in 2021. He's one of just 3 players with 25 plus sacks and 30 plus TFLs, and we all love TFLs since
we're TFL
2020, since 2021. That's a shirt. Wow. We TFL boys.
We're TFL boys.
TFL,
we love the TFL. So Mike is the projected MVP. I think that's fair. He's our best player. You'd assume that your best player has the best chance of being the team MVP.
He also has he's in the defensive quarterback position. Well, maybe not really. I guess that kind of goes to the
middle linebacker.
But in this case, like he is what the defense is built around, his strengths, right? So I think there's a comparison there. The other person I would say would be like CeeDee Lamb, but it's just you're never gonna get a wide receiver getting an MVP anymore. I don't think.
The one comment
it'd be rare.
Yeah, It's Ready on TikTok is saying it wore him down at the end of the year. Now he starts boxing and putting in weight. So just talking about the amount although he took 82.6% of the snaps, you could see a couple times where he looked like he was gassed a bit. So
his last 7 games, you could tell he like the way he started the season off, he was projected to have like 40 something sacks after the first 3 games or something crazy. And he obviously petered off at the end of the season. We need a 17-game Micah and then into the postseason.
Do you think that's a big reason why he decided to stay in, was it Austin, to train outside of the team regiment? Like, hey,
he ended up showing up though. He ended up showing up though.
Oh, of course he did.
So they were
like
talking
he said he was
about
a full-time DE.
Right. So he was talked about not coming to the OTAs, but then in true Lion fashion, he pride rocked it.
Yep.
It's got to eat. Can't let these little cubs think that they got the whole pride.
Right. New face to know. Stephen Gilmore, cornerback. The Cowboys traded for the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year this offseason. Is this like adding Deion Sanders to the squad in 1995? It's not.
Oh.
But Gilmore ranked 6th among corner. I like this skanky boy.
Skanky Ranky.
Skanky rank.
Skanky ranky.
But Gilmore ranked 6th among cornerbacks with a coverage grade of 81.1 last season, according to Pro Football Focus. And really, he's just here to work along with Trevon Diggs, who leads the NFL with 14 interceptions and 35 pass defenses since 2021. Ooh, put me into a lisp mode. Now,
2021.
21.
Now, Diggs has gone 10 straight games without a pick. Ooh, and that is a little concerning, but maybe not. But he's probably going to see more opportunities with Gilmore on the other side. And don't forget, Not So Bland was quite a pleasant surprise for the Cowboys last year, too. Dallas might have one of the best secondaries in the league. You heard it from the rank himself.
Put some salt on that one. You booked it. Put some salt on it and shove it down your face.
Yeah. I mean, huge signing. Gilmore, the more that you look at it, because who would we would be going in with would be Diggs, probably Bland would be our next guy, and that might not even be the best position for him, right?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a key off season acquirement.
Yeah, you put a veteran like that opposite of T Diggs, and then we talk about the backups, the CBs as the backups. They're all going to start to get elevated when you have 2 dogs just out there,
and the learning. You pick up.
Well, you would hope. I mean, obviously, you can't just put a veteran player in there. I think if you put any type of veteran player of the caliber like Stephen Gilmore, and you're expecting that players all around you in that position will rise a little bit.
Stephon Gilmore's been one of the top defensive players in the league for a long time. Having him on the back end, now Diggs actually has someone to compete with. I don't think Diggs was ever really competing against Anthony Brown. Like, Diggs was number 1, Anthony Brown was number 2. Here it's like there's a chance. Are you going to outplay the guy on the other side of you? They obviously they're teammates, but they obviously want to outperform each other.
Oh yeah,
it's a good thing. It's awesome to have.
Personally, I like the interceptions, but as a team, I don't care if Diggs has 11 interceptions if he's doing his job of shutting people down. It does hype me up though when there's it's a momentum shift. But sorry, you look actually. What's the interceptions 2021 as a team and interceptions in 2022 as a team? Did we go up or down, or did we stay the same? I wonder.
Okay, well, while Alex is looking at that, he can scroll down to 2023 breakout star Sam Williams, defensive end. It's hard to make a big impact when you're stuck behind Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, but that's what Williams did during his rookie season. Like Zayn Malik playing behind Harry Styles in One Direction. weird comparison. Sometimes you have to just wait for your chance. Though Malik was the first one to leave the band, so maybe Williams is Styles. Point is, Williams had 4 sacks despite playing less than a third of the defensive snaps for the Cowboys. They have to find more ways to get him on the field, and that's going to be the biggest problem. Is trying to justify getting him on the field. We saw Lane Johnson, who is an all-pro tackle for the Philadelphia Shitgulls, and he basically said 2 of the 5 hardest guys in the NFL to guard are DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. So if Lane Johnson's saying that, I mean, sure, you want Sam Williams to get out there, but you still want to keep your best players. Like, I don't want to give Sam Williams time to give him time. Like, I want him to earn it. I want him to be better than DeMarcus Lawrence. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you need to get him in to get some reps. He needs to be able to get that game experience to have that longevity like that as a line. But like you said, if he's not gonna, if he doesn't earn it, don't put him in just for the sake of getting him the reps.
Did anyone expect us to talk about One Direction at all today?
No, no, and it's so weird. I mean, I thought at least they would tie it into last season and have something with the not the Hansons. That's dating myself. Who are those other the Jonas Brothers? No, the Jonas Brothers, because they played at the Thanksgiving game.
I think Jonas Brothers is also dating you. I don't.
Yeah. No, but how? No, I just used the Jonas Brothers because they crack them if you got them.
Crack them if you got them.
Because they played at the Thanksgiving game.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay. Yeah, but
the whole reason we actually went down to the Thanksgiving Day game.
That's true.
The Jonas concert.
That's right, and this happened to be at the Cowboys game. That's what got me into
it's like,
football.
whoa, there's a football game around here. This is crazy.
I love Sam Williams. I love his potential. There is not a lot of room, but hey, what if he just stands out and then he becomes the first replacement for Lawrence or Micah when he needs to take a break? You know?
Yeah, just has to beat out the other two guys in foul. Like I would have liked to see mention of Fowler Jr. and Lawrence Armstrong here. That's who he's in competition with. That's who he's trying to get reps from. He ain't taking any of Micah's reps, and he sure as hell ain't taking any of D-Law's. So he's got to battle. He's got to battle those other two guys.
Well, here's a question: if Williams is outperformed by Fowler or who's the other guy?
Lawrence Armstrong.
Yeah, Armstrong. Is that a red flag for Williams?
No, because those guys both had really good years last year. Like that, and that's the whole reason that Sam Williams couldn't get on the field much, because the other guys in Lawrence Armstrong and Fowler Jr., they were just playing so good. So it was hard to give the rookie time.
Give him time. Give him time.
It is only his second season. I was thinking third for some reason.
I do expect to see Sam Williams get more playing time though.
Yeah,
he needs he needs to show some stuff in the preseason though.
Here's what everyone comes for: the coaching staff. We got Big Mike McCarthy leading the Cowboys onto the field. Probably not
side him on my fifth year.
Probably not physically, but mentally.
I'm just going to hear Texas Coast offense.
Jerry Jones given that owner, president, and GM title.
Owner, president, GM, and booster president.
Max Salt Intaker.
Yeah.
And offensive coordinator, Brian Shoddy. Defensive coordinator, y'all know who it is. Lieutenant Dan. And then special teams coordinator, the vasectomy, John Fassel.
John, I'm showing you my VD.
You know, I still have...
Aerial disease. Vasectomy,
He was telling that story because he wanted all the guys to know that he still has sex.
Oh, yeah. Guess who has
for
sex,
sure.
baby?
I gotta. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with another 13 kids.
I have 13 kids right now. Okay, you try to do that on a special teams coordinator salary. Okay.
So here's what it says about Mr. Michael McCarthy. It's Big Mike's fourth year in Dallas, and the Cowboys are coming off consecutive 12-5 seasons here.
Which is great.
But do you feel like they are any closer to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
That's probably why McCarthy made the decision to mutually part ways with offensive coordinator Kellen Moore and take over play calling duties himself. I mean, if my job were on the line, I would also want to take the reins myself.
You ain't wrong.
This will be the first time McCarthy has called play since 2018. It's not like the league has changed much since that time or anything. I'm sure he'll be fine. And the Packers had a top 5 scoring offense in 7 of his 13 seasons in Green Bay. Good odds.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I completely agree with Stanky Ranky here. If my job was on the line, I'm not going to let someone, I'm going to do everything in my power. Now, if Mike McCarthy wasn't an offensive play caller like he has been in the past, then you go out and find the best person.
Sure.
But
yes.
If you in your heart of hearts feel like you can do it better than the dungeon master, aka Vanilla Pudding, Kellen Moore, then you boot the fucker.
I was gonna say you want to go down with your ship, but I think it still might be too soon for that saying within the last week or so.
I know.
I caught myself before I said it.
No, that would be imploding.
You're
the ship.
Yeah.
You can say down with the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, down with the ship. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were going to, if it was your choice, you're gonna sink that ship instead of having some other pencil neck like Kellen Moore do it for you.
If you have, there was obviously doubts in Mike McCarthy, doubts from Mike McCarthy with Kellen Moore.
Yep.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have moved on. He would have been happy. 12-5, best number 2 offense or whatever it was. Like, you know, arguably one of the better offenses in the NFL. In terms of,
But did it ever feel
it
that
never
way?
felt that way. No, because they had big games. They had big boom games.
Well,
but the point is just, if you get to the point where it's going, like I'm just agreeing. Like, I think that's where his decision came is. Like, it might not have been that he thought he could even do better than Kellen Moore, but he's like, Kellen's not getting us to where we need to go.
Yep.
He's doing everything else great, and I'd rather get in a position where I can control things more. Maybe I take we don't want this. Maybe I take an extra L throughout the season, but I'm going to be better prepared and better situated to face those teams we know we're going to face in the postseason.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you look at someone like Kellen Moore, and as an offensive coordinator, and it'd be ignorant for us to say, oh yeah, all he cares about is like putting up like great looking plays and trying to put up as most
his
points.
job.
Well,
as possible.
we know he didn't care about putting up great looking plays.
No,
Yeah,
but, I'm just saying, like,
It's his job to make the
still-
offense.
but he's still.
Successful.
I mean, you would still want to win as an
Oh, yeah.
offensive coordinator. But
Yep.
going 2 seasons back to back, 12-5, and not really progressing with the season or making it to the divisional round, yeah, Mike McCarthy you need to make a change. Hey, this isn't working. I believe I have all of the elements in place here. If we make these 2 or 3 different tweaks in the off season, I feel like we can make a run 100% for the divisional, and then I believe we can be in the Super Bowl. That's probably the conversations he's having in order to get all these.
Well, we need a playoff
Playoffs.
offense, a playoff offense, not a first or second or third overall scoring offense. We need a team that's going to win at no cost. You know, they can't go in and put up 12 points against San Francisco in the divisional round. Like, that's just not acceptable on any level.
No. And that's what I think it really comes down to. That's the brass tacks.
Well, and it's ready on TikTok as saying Kellen Moore went into last season with the number 1 offense. So he had the number 1 offense. We were the number 1 offense, and
In 2021,
yeah, and again, it didn't
feel like it.
didn't feel like it.
No.
Absolutely didn't feel like it. And again, we could be too close to the sun.
Oh fuck! I fly close to the sun
Like-
every podcast, baby. Fake tech.
How many times have we like, man, we never see Dak going deep. Like, we never see. I mean, I watched a highlight tape of him, a highlight clip of him a day or so ago, and
VHS.
he threw a lot of fucking deep balls last season. I was surprised. He had I forget what the rating was. He's ranked almost more ahead of Joe Burrow, or was it Josh Allen, in terms of like the deep pass?
Yeah, but that's just the completion. That doesn't mean how many times he did it.
Right. That's
It's
what I'm saying.
just that when
Completion. His rating was
so
better.
that's actually a better argument to do it more.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So he doesn't throw it as much, but they're making the completions. Maybe just do it, 5 more times.
Exactly.
I mean, we can break down those stats.
Which we might
any which way.
Hey,
Which we might.
Hey, any which way but loose. What looking at someone like adding Cooks to the wide receiving core and allowing to have more players who could stretch the field down in the right plays. That you exactly what you just said. Hey, Dak's completion for the deep ball is great. We don't have enough weapons to stretch the field.
Yeah.
Let's go get that and let's add that into the scheme.
Word is Cooks is still a burner too. Sounds
Yeah.
like he's still got that speed, baby.
Like he smokes a lot of pot.
It totally
He's burning it.
It totally feels like the Cowboys went out with the Cooks and Gilmore and got the equivalent improvement in terms of, like, if you can imagine, like, adding points to your offense or defense. Both those players added kind of the equivalent upgrade to the offense and the defense. It was like this symbiotic improvement, which improves the whole team, right? So we're
Damn.
excited. Dan Quinn, what more can you say about Lieutenant Dan?
Hey, is it my turn?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, Dan Quinn, DC Dan Quinn. Lieutenant Dan Ice Cream has been head coaching
Cream.
candidate has been a head coaching candidate the past 2 seasons, and the Cowboys are fortunate to still have him around. He's a valuable person to have on the staff, especially if the heat on McCarthy gets turned up. That's the radio voice.
Yep.
If you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, Quinn would be the most obvious in-house option to turn to if things go south in a hurry for McCarthy.
So what? So what are they saying? Like south in a hurry? Like they're gonna fire him mid-season and get Dan Quinn in? Like I feel like they would have to go 0-6 for that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no fucking way you're taking McCarthy out of there if you're like, even if you're 5-5, you're not gonna you wouldn't do that.
No, you're still battling.
The Cowboys led the NFL in takeaways for the second straight year with 33 last season. They have a lot of great talent all over that D and made some additions in the offseason, including drafting Mozzie Smith to anchor the interior defensive line. The strength of the Cowboys will again be the defense, yet nobody seems to talk about it.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the defense to be the best part.
Yes.
I'm excited to watch this defense.
Yep, I'm excited to watch this defense.
Me too.
Speaking of defense, you grab those numbers, the interception numbers. So 26 in 2021 and 16?
Yeah, in 2020.
So we were less.
Less.
Okay, so almost the team had similar results, but without Diggs, 35 fucking ins, we drop it out. Okay.
Yeah,
but we did lead the league. The Cowboys led the league in 2021 and 2022 in takeaways, which is huge. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I will always trade. I mean, interceptions are beautiful, and we get to do a screech shot and yada 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 if it's Diggs. But I will always take just a more solid shutdown player like Diggs. What did you do against? I mean, we were at the game. Fucking Vikings. Jefferson just shut
him right down.
And that I'll take that over an exciting interception.
100%.
I want them all.
I want them all.
But yeah, what's really interesting is I believe Dan Quinn knows what he has in Micah Parsons and probably likes the other ingredients, including Diggs, on the defense there. And that's what's keeping him around, right?
Definitely.
It's like this is a once-in-a-lifetime player for you. You're a defensive coordinator. It's like you finally got, maybe he's had a couple of these guys in his past, but right now he has a guy who it's like you can do amazing things with. It's very, if you love football like we know Dan Quinn does, DQ does, Lieutenant Dan does, it's exciting. He wants to stay there and coach this guy.
He's an alchemist with all the fixins.
That's right.
Here's we got some nice conversations going over on our TikTok chat. 2 things. I'm gonna give you a comment. I want your guys' response.
Okay.
It's Ready says, better hope Dan stays because Micah publicly said he's playing where Dan goes. Do you think Micah Parsons would leave the Dallas Cowboys if Dan Quinn left?
No, they're gonna throw so much money at him to stay.
He'll be the highest paid NFL player, perhaps.
He's gonna be the highest paid. And you got to think if they retain CeeDee Lamb and Trevon Diggs and they still have such a good basis. One, Dan Quinn maybe wants to stick around. We keep getting led on about Dan Quinn leaving. Who's to say Dan Quinn doesn't just keep sticking around for another 2 or 3 years?
Sticks around. If he's making better money than if he's making better money than most head coaching jobs, then great. You got one specialty area with a group of guys that you form a relationship with, believing that you can get into the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl with it. Yeah, you're going to stick around because you have that vested interest in it, right?
It would.
But sorry. Secondly, secondly, if Dan Quinn, we don't know what's been said behind closed doors, but if, depending on what happens this season, if we don't go to the divisional, if we don't go into the NFC Championship game, then
watch your damn mouth.
Then
I'll come over there and smack that whore out of your mouth.
Does Dan Quinn expect that Mike McCarthy is going to get booted, and then he's going to take the head coaching job for the 2024 season? I mean, again,
I don't even
it's
want
all
to think about that.
hearsay.
What I would say is, if I'm Dan Quinn in a position where, okay, I can go coach another team and then essentially become the defensive coordinator while I have an offensive coordinator run the offense, is that an upgrade? Do I take on more unnecessary responsibility as a head coach, like all the bullshit that comes with being a head coach as well? Or he's in a very great position. Cowboys are I think, the 3rd or 4th ranked by the players, ranked team with facilities and everything involved with being a player, they treat the staff, they treat the players right. Like there's a lot that comes into it when we're sitting here as fans looking at, oh, you could go be a head coach, but it's like, do you want that right now? Well, like you got to look at what you have, and then you go somewhere else.
Well, and he probably is making, and because the coaching salary doesn't hit the cap, you know, Jerry's paying Dan Quinn some money.
Yeah.
If the Joneses don't retain Micah Parsons, and if they lose Micah Parsons and Dan Quinn, that would be the biggest fuck up by Jerry Jones and his family ever. So I just don't see it happening. They might lose Dan Quinn, but there's no way Micah Parsons is getting away.
They will throw so much money at Micah Parsons. It's ridiculous. He will, like you said, he'll be the highest paid player in at least on defense, highest paid defensive player for sure when his contract comes up. The question I was going to ask you, before going through this, and it kind of goes
almost
back.
done this article.
It kind of goes back to the offense. There's a little, and I can't keep up with all of the.
Well, while you're looking, let me just tap this.
It's just a quick. Big Mike in TikTok says, how does Dallas have the #1 offense but fail in the postseason? So, and I just want to frame the question. So you come into the season with the #1 offense. That doesn't mean you're going to automatically win games, which is what we've proved 2 seasons in a row. You can have,
because you have inflated stat games.
Exactly.
You have inflated stat games. If eventually you get into the dance and everyone there, where you finally get into the big ring and every person there is a brawler. Like they got against San Francisco the last 2 years, and San Francisco had one of the best defenses in the NFL, and Kellen Moore was in over his head.
Yeah. And when you go down to the type of offensive plays that need to be called, you're thinking it is easy for offensive coordinators to get tunnel vision on offense and not thinking of it like a chess match. So you're going to run the ball a little bit more. Maybe you're going to throw shorter throws here, etc. You're going to
Mike McCarthy should have whipped out his pecker at halftime against San Fran and said, "Listen, I'm calling the plays in the second half.
Get on your knees, boy."
And it just never happened.
Get down and shut up.
My name's Vanilla Pudding.
I love you, Dan Quinn.
Here's the thing about Kellen Moore, Vanilla Pudding, and all the best of luck to him with the Chargers. That's who he's with, right?
Yep.
He when his offense was firing, it's unstoppable. But when there's a problem, there is low adjustment to the offensive game of the Cowboys, and it doesn't improve. You know, like you were just saying, there are things that you see this, you can change it. And this is what you can give respect to Bill Belichick, even though I know his name might be a little tainted now that Brady moved on, won a Super Bowl by himself, and New England hasn't fared so well. All that being said, though, Belichick was, and probably still is, the master of making those adjustments in a game. And there's tons of guys who can do that. McCarthy might be the type of guy who can do that too. But we didn't really see that from Kellen Moore. He would just keep trying to push that square block through the circle hole, or however that fucking saying goes.
Yep.
And if it didn't work, we just were not firing.
And I mean, Big Mike, the last thing I'll say to him, he goes, I guess I was hoping that talent would be enough when the play calling fails. And yeah, that's exactly that's why everyone continues to knock Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott can't win the big games. Dak Prescott can't do this. Obviously, there's a variety of reasons. It's not just one person. It's a mold of people. And we can't go into the head of an athlete in a big game situation. What did they do that whole week? What did they do that day? Obviously, we pay them the big bucks to win. Well, we don't pay them shit. I mean, they get paid the big bucks.
If you bought their jersey, you did. They got a little piece of that pie.
I fucking bought a Dak Prescott jersey at AT&T Stadium. So technically,
so you've personally.
I'm your boss. It's like I'm your boss. I pay your taxes.
We've got a laundry load full of jerseys here.
Oh yeah,
in the
100%.
Fan Studios.
100%.
So just a quick recap here: the key departures, of course, our boy Zeke, much love. Noah Brown, T.Y. Hilton, Dalton Schultz, Jason Peters, Connor McGovern, Carlos Watkins, Anthony Barr, Anthony Brown, and Brett Mayer.
Brett Money Maher.
You know what? Anthony Brown, God love him. by week 3 or 4, I already did not consider him part of the Cowboys.
You're like, he's gone next year.
I
He's
just
gone
knew-
next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gone.
He gone. New additions, key role additions, anyways. Ronald Jones, Brandon Cooks, and Stephen Gilmore, of course.
It's crazy that they would go with Rojo as the first key addition. I would have went with Brandon Cooks as my first key addition, and then Stephen Gilmore,
Yeah, that is true.
and then Ronald Jones. And you could say, well, maybe it's positional, obviously, but
Skanks has his plan.
skanky ranky.
And then draft class. I mean, do we even need to go over it?
Nah.
Mazzy Smith, Luke Schoon, DeMarvion, Overshawn. I don't know if I said
Agent
that right.
Zero, aka Agent Orange.
Junior Fiocco, Asim Richards. Who knows? This guy could be good. He could be bad. Eric Scott Jr.
Lots
Deuce-
of good stuff out of early camps about
With him?
Eric Scott Jr. Yep.
I'd love to see it. Deuce Vaughn and then Jalen Brooks. So
Woot 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 woot.
couple big games that he has noted. Week 1 at New York Giants, Sunday night.
So this is going into 2023.
2023. Yeah, these are the big highlight games that he has. Do you want me to read them or just read the names?
Yeah, just read the names.
Yeah, okay.
Let's
so we
read
got
the names.
So we got week 1 at New York Giants, week 5 at San Francisco, and then week 9 at the Philadelphia.
Interesting enough, they're all away games.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I think week 1 is just exciting. We want to see what the boys can do. And
Week 5, it's San Fran during season.
That's the measuring stick right there. That's
Yeah.
why week 5 and week 9 at San Fran and at Philadelphia, those are measuring stick games. Like if you can win both those games or even one of the two, you're right in there. You have a very plausible chance of reaching the NFC Championship.
I like week 5 because it gives us time to recalibrate if necessary and also make some trades before the deadline. Week 9, post-trade deadline, but still gives you some time before the end of the season if there's something. And I think we play them again too, obviously. So, yeah. Hey, the games I'm looking forward to is week, 12, 13 or 11, 12? What is our weeks that we go down to?
Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Carolina
Well, just-
is week. Oh, is
Pre-Thanksgiving and post
Yeah.
pre-Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving. That's the weeks we're excited for.
Yeah.
I think I want to say it's 11 and 12.
Well, and what we should do is, and we should start. We'll talk about. I mean, whatever. I'll talk about it live here. We got to find out the group that's going to be. So we are going to do the whole week, Carolina, and then we're going to go to Dallas for our annual Thanksgiving, the great Canadian American Thanksgiving road trip. And I think we'll have shirts this year with the years, and then we should have shirts made for anybody that's part of our group that we all squat up wearing some shirts
With my penis on it.
with Alex's vape on it.
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and then we can maybe bounce off his answers here, too. Will the Cowboys be able to count on the offensive line?
Undetermined for me right now.
Yeah. Good,
It's undetermined.
solid 5.
Solid 5. I'm scared if we get another Tyron Smith preseason injury, I'm going into a panic mode a little bit. Do they end up bringing Jason Peters back, something like that? But okay, I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna rely on them. I trust what the Cowboys front office does with the offensive line, and they're relying on this crew that we have going into the season. So there's no reason for me not to.
No, but you're fair in the worry. Crack him if you
Crack
got
him
him.
if you got him.
That's for the offensive line, since Ant didn't trust them at first, and then he retrusted them after he thought about it.
Ant said, "I don't fucking trust you guys." Slammed the door and walked back in. Okay, I might have been.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think there's fairness in the Tyron Smith injury, man. Like, he has not finished a season. Let's expect that. Okay, at some point in the season, he might miss a game or two, and I'm okay with that. The other concern is Steele. We don't know when he's actually going to come back. There's, like, right now, just a lot of hope that he'll make it back. I don't think he's back week 1.
Can't win on opium.
I think it's week 3. And even if he comes back week 1, it might not be the full effect. So we definitely need to find a swing tackle. I think that, like, oddly enough, we're not really solid at guard, but I still feel like swing tackle is a higher priority.
Oh, tackle's huge. You can
Yeah.
almost take. The only reason I say tackle's a bigger need is because I feel like you can almost take a tackle and put them at guard if you absolutely needed to, which is probably what we'll end up doing. But I agree. You definitely need a good swing tackle in case Terrence Steele isn't ready for week 1.
Any comments
Tackle.
there?
No,
Ad, or no?
I
Okay. Will the Cowboys be able
sorry,
to?
my only comment is I count on the offensive line all the time. Well,
Well, I think that same concerns coming out of Skanky ranks here.
let me read
Yep.
this one because I see my boy.
It's just a question.
Figures out what to do with Tony Pollard.
What
Figure out what to do with Tony Pollard. Is that where you're at? That was the next.
what will
thing.
the Cowboys be able? We're not reading his answers. We're answering these.
I just wanted to.
Oh, you have okay. So
just wanted to
let
read
me
the part
let
where
me
he talks about
let me
Boba
ask the
Fett, that's it.
question, and then you can
just
read
ask it. I don't need to read it anymore.
Okay. Will the Cowboys be able to figure out what to do with Tony Pollard?
TP20. Yeah, I mean, I
Yes.
think so. I think knowing now that you don't have, we talked about this on previous shows where you kind of get into a rhythm with certain players, and Ezekiel Elliott was a certain type of player. So you have the two backs matched together and you kind of run them a certain way. Well, now that Zeke's out and TP20 is our number 1, well, now you're gonna develop plays for TP20 strength. And if we look at some of the other backs that we've added, there's a couple of other backs like Crash Davis, aka Malik Davis or Malik Davis, depending on who's saying it out of the bandwagon boys. Is he more of like a Tony Pollard type of player? Well, yeah, he's probably not a bruiser like Zeke. So you develop these run schemes around TP20's playing style. He can run, he can catch. We talked about it. He's more like a Christian McCaffrey. He can do both. So you develop way more plays to suit that on your offensive drive because you have more options. So I think they have figured out what to do with him. Personally, I think Ant's gonna.
No, I agree. They've kind of
Thank
started
God.
unlocking. They started unlocking what they had in TP20 last season, and they just, as long as he's healthy, ride that guy, man. Give him more touches. Let him carry. Like, let him be the focal point of your offense and see what the guy can do. No one knows yet. Like, yeah, we've seen what he can do. And still last year, he was in a very limited role. He was sharing snaps 50-50, right? I want to see him ramp it up to like 75 to 80% of the total touches at running back and see if he's the true number 1 in the NFL.
And he didn't slow down either when he had a couple games where he was taking on that load. Obviously, that wasn't for too many games, but
it's a big load.
Yeah, he took that load and he
took that load. He took that load.
The two things here. Number 1,
let me just pull up.
Stanky. No, go back down. Stanky Ranky said this.
Oh, sorry.
This is what I wanted to point out. We also, so he goes, I know a lot of fantasy heads have been asking for Pollard to be the feature back for years. We also asked for a series devoted solely to Boba Fett. And did you see how that worked out? Okay, so first off, no one asked for a Boba Fett series. Like, Boba Fett is better as just Boba Fett. Exactly.
Sorry, Adam's getting a little bone over here talking about Star Wars.
I got the Mandalore tattoo here. So, anyways, I just wanted to point that out.
He's a better supporting role than a show role, is what you're saying for Boba Fett. But you think TP20 can be the showstopper?
Yeah, I mean, I think TP20 is going to be. I think TP20 is going to be fine.
We know AJ's answer. AJ loves some TP20.
Oh, I fucking love the dude, and I am a little concerned just his injury, but I think like I don't believe he's tacked on the miles that he's basically got worn off half the amount of tread that a normal running back at his age would have worn off. So I'm not really concerned about his age.
Yeah, his age is fine. I mean, I'm better about his injury with the break versus it being a tear.
Well, and he's already practicing. He's already been in off-season activities. Like, realistically, he should be barring any minor setbacks, he should be full steam by week 1.
Yeah, and he's drinking like 2 or 3 gallons of milk a day, so his calcium levels are very high.
Right from the tit,
Yeah,
from the cow tit.
From the cow
He's just
teat.
under there with 2 teats, one in each side of his mouth, and he's just going for it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's ready on TikTok saying he's a Pro Bowler with 50% of the snaps. He's a top 20. TP20 is a Pro Bowler, and he's splitting carries. Like, who else has that?
Exactly.
Yeah, TP20. We saw the offense. It was a completely different offense when TP20 went
burst
down. Yeah. So
one storyline, we kind of talked about it, but Brandon Cooks, I mean, he's still doing his damn thing. And I think him coming onto the team obviously helps improve the options for our captain, Dak.
Yep.
And also provides a lot of more options potentially, let's assume though, for CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup coming back, hopefully feeling more confident after that injury. He had one of those injuries that, yes, it's a physical thing, but it's also the mental capacity of like, man, this is gonna happen again, and you're just not confident in your leg. He's now played a full season.
yeah.
So I do think he's gonna step up and it's going to be great. Brandon Cooks I'm very excited for him to be a Dallas Cowboy.
I'm very excited for Brandon Cooks as well. I liked the trade when it happened. Obviously, if we go back a couple months and everyone thought we were going to go D-Hop and B Cooks kind of came out of nowhere and everyone was like B Cooks. It makes a lot of sense. I think he's gonna shine. I think he's gonna shine
like a
for
diamond.
sure. He's gonna shine like diamond.
Shine like a diamond.
Okay, so I'm just going to rally off these, and you tell me if you agree with them. This is for 2023 to be
Don't
a
agree.
success.
Sorry.
The Cowboys must reach the NFC Championship game.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Agreed.
It. That's it.
That's it.
Steak
No,
right.
we've said this so many times. They got Mike McCarthy in the COVID year, Dak Prescott ankle year. They went 6-10, missed the postseason.
Yeah.
The next year they went 12-5, made it to the wild card, lost to San Francisco. The last year they went 12-5, made it to the divisional, lost to San Francisco. NFC or bust. NFC Championship game or bust.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Adam Skanky Rank. We appreciate that article.
And just for those who are listening, where can they find that article?
NFL.com.
NFL.com.
No, but the only way you need to digest this information is through Cowboys Can Fan.
And if you're an audio listener, respect.
Or
But
Adam Rank on Twitter.
Yeah,
and we'll
thanks very much.
You know what? It'll be a great thing for us to retweet when the show's done. Hey, Adam Rank, we use and then he's gonna listen to the first 3 minutes. Stanky Ranking, be like,
No, you have to when we at him or retweet him or tweet at him, it has to be, yo, Skanky Ranky, we just used and abused your article, babe.
Yeah.
Send.
And then
that's how it's getting done.
Asterix light butt tap.
Yeah.
Asterix.
yeah. Stanky Ranking.
Okay, so fantasy football.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Fantasy.
Ooh, fantasy.
We do
baby.
have I forget who it was messaging me. I apologize, but we are doing the second year here of the
fantasy football.
Now we are going to be cutting some people because there's been some guys who once the fantasy season started.
They were inactive.
And the season, they just dropped, and we haven't seen them back yet. So there will be some open slots, but for everyone who already was playing,
Trim in some foreskin.
yeah, you get to keep your spot as long as you still want it. Otherwise, we'll be opening some spots, and
DM us, get in our DMs.
Yeah. Can fantasy
who won
football.
last year was last year it was fucked up. There's asterisks all over, but it's kind of a dual championship between all three of us.
Okay, so for context, because we know that not all of you followed our Can Fantasy Football during last year. Bandwagon Boy number 1 and Bandwagon Boy number 2, we were one team, the Bandwagon Boys. We got rated as the lowest drafted team, but guess who made the fucking championship game? We did, motherfucker. We did.
Yeah.
And
Jerry Jones our way.
And then we were versing some fucking jabroni named Anthbeth. And guess what?
We tied.
It was the DeMar Hamlin game. Obviously, the stats were a little off. Had it been someone besides us, we would have figured out a way to honor a winner to get that jersey. Winner gets a jersey. Guess what? We didn't buy anyone a jersey because we would have been buying ourselves.
We're all going to buy ourselves a one.
We're all going to buy ourselves our own jersey. So, Can Fantasy Football. Let's go, baby. Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Okay, 2023 fantasy football draft prep. What do we got?
Okay, well, again, like CBSSports.com, Mr. Dan Schneier.
Dan Schneider.
No, it's
Oh, Schneier. Schneer.
he's all fancy with his last name.
Dan
He's
Schneer.
got fucking 3 vowels in a row.
There's no D in that.
There's no D in Schneier, but there is in Dan. Ooh.
Deanne.
Hey, there's our boy.
Dak
Running
Prescott.
hard. It's the kind of Prescott I like to see.
Dak's
no
looking
mouth guard.
excited
No
there.
mouth guard, eh?
Well, let me give you his little intro paragraph, shall I? The
Yes.
Dallas Cowboys enter the 2023 season as one of the borderline premier offenses in fantasy football. They will return most of their core pieces, including a potential upgrade on the offensive line if they can get a healthy season out of Tryon Smith, he says, but it's actually Tyron.
Idiot. Someone needs
Spell
to use
check.
Grammarly.
But there are a few major changes. For starters, Zeke Elliott, currently an NFL free agent, is out, and Tony Pollard has an opportunity to take over as the lead back. Also, the Cowboys acquired Brandon Cooks and lost out Dalton Schultz. In
I hate
free
how they say
agency.
lost out on Dalton Schultz in free agency. No, we fucking
You
didn't.
fucking call that guy right now.
Call him right now.
Son, call him up.
Hey, so Dan Schneier, you
Call
wrote
up
that.
Dan Schneider.
You wrote that Dalton Schultz. We failed to acquire that motherfucker. We didn't. We just didn't decide to require that motherfucker.
Fuck Schultz.
Fuck
Yeah,
Schultz.
So obviously we got a new play caller in the old coach, Mike McCarthy. So things look different in 2023.
Imagine if you in fantasy football you could actually draft a coach. And you get points. You get points for the coaches.
Well, I think it's funny that they do coach trades.
really in fantasy football.
I don't know if they've done it. In fantasy football?
Well, yeah,
no,
but
no, sorry.
I play in some
I was
fucking
thinking,
2 quarterback leagues. It's like the dumbest thing ever. Hate 2 quarterback leagues.
it's too many
I'm-
quarterbacks.
My main league's a 2 quarterback league. I don't love it.
It's too many.
Your main league's not. Your main league is the one that you've been in for 17 years.
Yeah, but I'm not good in that league, so I don't count it.
You don't count in your good one.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get into the. Now this is by Chris Towers. I don't know what the fuck CBS is doing. They're having like an orgy of authors for their articles.
Everybody's dipping.
Hey, everyone can dip in. So the Cowboys 2023 outlook. Here's the burning question: is this still an elite offense?
100%.
I think it's more elite this year than it
Yeah,
was last
I
year.
agree.
100%.
The Cook edition makes it elite. Like I think
Yeah.
we are missing that scary element where I didn't feel like the offense could score at any spot on the field last year. I just
No.
didn't feel like they could do that.
Okay,
I
so-
felt like they had to dink and dunk their way down to at least the 25, and then they could take a chance. I didn't feel like they could score if they were on their own 18-yard line or their own 25. I just didn't think it was in their realm of possibility.
And
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, just you look at the stats and it proves that point. CD Lamb. CD Lamb.
CD Lamb.
Whoa, Alex.
Whoa, AJ.
CD Lamb had whatever it was 3 times as many reception yards than the second Noah Brown.
Here's the thing.
And Noah Brown was our fucking second best.
Okay.
That doesn't scream elite.
Dan Schneier says, Dan Schneebly, Mr. Schneibel. The tools are there, but he's talking about Schottenheimer taking over as offensive coordinator, which he's not. He's Mike McCarthy's like assistant.
Lackey.
And McCarthy taking over play calling duties. I have real questions about how many points his team is going to score. Schottenheimer's offense were pretty conservative in Seattle, and McCarthy's last 3 Packers teams all ranked in the bottom 12 in pace. Under Moore, the Cowboys were top 3 each season. Play volume alone could knock this team down from the ranks of the elite offense, and that's bad news for a team with some expensive fantasy options. So, yes, we are talking about fantasy football points, so the context of this question is important there.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, don't give a shit if we're not the elite offense as long as we're winning the fucking games. Winning the games is what matters most, and getting to the
But we're talking fantasy, baby.
I know, I know. So as a fantasy player, it proposes great points. Are we going to see some of these players who were going to get lots of points kind of spread it out a little bit? Don't know.
No, man. I think I disagree with that.
With Schneer?
Yeah, I mean, the way that we entered this with our comments was completely different than what wrote there. Like, I think this is a vast improvement from last season. I guess and think about this, knock on wood skis. Let's hope Dak plays the full season. That was a big knock last year too. So you start adding all these things up, let's be honest. I mean, Zeke stumbled through a lot of those games during the latter half of the season as well. So if we can get healthy players, Cooks is a massive upgrade. I really am. I believe that our tight ends are easily that trio. And McKeon can kind of peek his head around the corner too. But those guys are going to easily compensate for the exit of Schultz. So there's not a loss there. And we know what Puller can do. We have that belief. We just talked about that as well. So, yeah, I just see an upgrade this season, man.
Yep.
I don't like his reasoning is Schottenheimer and Mike McCarthy's last few years or whatever. I don't like his reasoning. You got to look at if the team was elite last year, and then did they build off of that in certain positions, which they did.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And again, who gives a fuck if we're scoring 45 points a game if it's not translating? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. If it comes down to the tough games that need to be won. We got some nice rankings here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see a little bit better. Oops.
As you're zooming that in there, Freddie.
Not rankings, sorry. These are predictions.
Freddie Palma in chat saying he's waiting for Oxnard training camp. He's going to be there live. I said we will too. And he says, I will say what's up if I see you guys. Guess what? Freddie, if you're there and we're there at the same time, you will know.
What's your shirt size, Freddie?
We'll be high-fiving.
We'll be high-fiving, slanging and banging.
So this is
slanging and banging.
This is what they have for Prescott, and I'm just going to read the important numbers.
And these are projections.
These are projections here.
Okay.
3,944 yard passing, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns rushing. So 30 total touchdowns is what they're calling for Dak.
I think that's on the low side.
Yep.
Me too.
I agree.
That's conservative.
If he plays a full season, those I'd be surprised if Dak doesn't have 32 to 37 touchdowns if he plays all 17 games.
I just feel he's going to be like 4,300 yards and above.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have some good yardage. Again, yards isn't as important as the touchdowns. But I still feel
just shy of 4,000. I mean, I'll take 4,000 yards. Just, I think that's reasonable. So, but the touchdowns, I definitely think they're probably, 7 shy.
Yeah. TP20, that's light.
TP20 got 1,073 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, and then an additional 408 receiving yards with 2 touchdowns. So 11 total touchdowns and roughly 1,500 yards.
I think it's light. I
think he's going to get more goal line carries than people are expecting.
Yep.
Those 12 touchdowns that we lose from last season with Zeke, Pollard's going to pick a couple of those up for sure. So
yep. Oh, yeah.
I think that's low for him also.
Or my boy Hunter Lepke's going to get those goal lines, but whatever, we'll see.
I mean, they just wasted internet space here by writing about Deuce Vaughn and what he's going to get.
It is interesting that they decided to put him on there.
Well, it's
especially when later on, because I read this. Sorry, they talk about Davis being the number 2.
Yeah,
and then they don't put him up here. So
yeah, well, because people. So the way that it's writing there, he's showing that Deuce Vaughn isn't going to actually do much, and people are thinking Deuce Vaughn is going to do a lot.
Sure.
So if you're going to pick up Deuce Vaughn as a sleeper, he's basically telling you don't bother.
And I definitely disagree with this. 1,253 yards for CeeDee Lamb and only 8 tutties.
Yeah, he's uptrending so much in his first 3 seasons. I expect a huge monster season from CD. I'm thinking between 14 to 1,500 yards and at least over 10 tugs.
Yeah. Easy. I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable. Cooks, we have just over 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. Gallup.
Did he chat GPT this? Because receptions for Cooks is 69, and then receptions for CeeDee Lamb is 96. I'm just going to take the numbers and reverse them. Shabada bing.
Michael Gallup, 455 yards, 2 touchdowns. Super low expectations there, hey?
And Gallup had a
Yeah.
better season last year, and he was. Yeah, I don't know about these rankings here, guys.
Yeah. And then Ferguson, I mean,
These projections can get.
yep. Okay, well, let's I mean, we don't need to go into the rest of that.
Well, I have some stuff for you because
Yeah.
for fantasy football, we put in on the Instagram, we put a poll out to see who thought would have the best season. And I don't even care about, like, I think CeeDee Lamb won it, but I want to ask you guys, out of these 4 players, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, and we put Scooney, the Schoonmaker down just because. But out of those 4 players, who do you think has the best fantasy season for their position?
Ooh,
Ooh.
CeeDee Lamb.
I'd say CeeDee Lamb.
Okay, so I have some fantasy football stats here. So CeeDee Lamb in 2020, his first year, he was 21st ranked at wide receiver. In
God.
2021, he was 14th.
God.
And then last season, he was the 6th wide receiver in fantasy football.
Yeah.
So he's trending up big time. Tony Pollard, 2020, was 41st, 30th, and then last year, 8th. So Tony Pollard also trending big time. And then Dak
bet.
Prescott.
Wow.
I'm going to say, for me, the safe bet, I'm going to say Dak Prescott, because in every season that he ever played, every full season he's ever played, he's finished in a top 10 at his position. So I think Dak might be the safe pick, because if CeeDee Lamb has an amazing season, well, that's going to put Dak Prescott's stats up there quite a bit. But look, we're looking at it. We pretty much, those 3 guys, they're top 10 in fantasy football, which that's going to equate to success on the field.
Yeah, 100%. I think the most risky one is Pollard.
Yeah, probably.
Solely, yeah.
Yep.
Well, or I'd say Schoonmaker.
Well, Scooney, yeah, okay. Well,
yeah.
He ain't get. He would have to have a pretty impressive season to beat out, to like finish 3rd on the tight end list ahead of, you know.
You know, if Scooney goes something like 50, 60 catches, 800 yards, 600, 800 yards, 6 to 8 touchdowns, that's a huge success, right?
That's a phenomenal season.
Yeah. And that's what I'm expecting out of the man.
If he gets if he had 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, I think that would be a very successful season.
Yeah, true. And we're also considering the rest of the tight ends are putting up some numbers.
The other clone
so,
zone's going to be flirting about too, right?
I think we agree, like 1,000 yards and what was it, 8 or 10 touchdowns to kind of just replace
Schultze.
Yeah, then we're happy.
Yep.
As a squad.
As a squad, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Shall we get into the season?
I thought we were doing the memes.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
First, I just want to do some palate cleansers here. This is just the most Madden play of all time. So what we're seeing here is New Orleans throwing an interception to Washington. They fumble it into the hands.
Okay, so this isn't just Cowboy stuff. Gotcha.
No.
Okay.
This is just the palate cleanser. Then we're getting into the Cowboy stuff. I'm just warming us up with some memes. And you audio listeners, you're gonna definitely have to come over to the YouTube to get the full effect of this part of the show. This is just a funny one here. It shows Russell Wilson winning and his I guess ex-girlfriend. Or
Kind of
maybe
looks
wife.
like Sweet D from It's Always Sunny.
It does. And the quote says, never forget when Russell Wilson's ex thought she was set for life on draft day. She is very stoked.
Yeah,
But,
and guess what?
She looks like somebody you want to stay away from.
How long did they stay together? I wonder.
I have no idea.
Okay, this is a nice, funny little quick one too, and then we'll hop into our our list here for the Cowboys. So this is how many beers would it take to get with NFL QBs as women? What they've done is they've taken the photos of the quarterbacks and put them through that filter that makes them girls.
Yep.
And it's pretty shocking.
Mac
So we got
Jones.
well, Mac Jones, aka Macy Jones. They say adorable, but 5 beers. Josephine Allen, kind of cute, 1 beer.
Josephine Allen.
Josephine Allen is a beautiful girl. A little thick, but that's nice. Jalen Hurts, the same MILF material, 2 beers. Then we got our Dakota Prescott. Dakota looks hot.
They don't even change Dak's name.
No, it's
It's
just
still
Dakota.
Dakota Prescott.
Okay, so that's what we're getting into here. So let's roll it back, gentlemen, to camp. And I think you'll all remember this. When Trevin Diggs was holding on to a backup wide receiver's jersey so he doesn't go viral for getting absolutely cooked again. And this was
This is the thing with these I feel bad for Trey Diggs because he's the only cornerback that gets burned at training camp when the wide receivers should be winning.
Yeah.
And that it ends up being viral. It's like
he's not the only DB
every
that's getting
corner,
burned.
every corner in training camps getting absolutely smoked.
Well, these memes are mean memes, so we're not gonna like them, but I think it's good for us to sit through them and take them. So
I love it when they use what's his Homelander in anything because he has such a comic style smile.
Oh yeah.
So whenever you see Homelander coming into a meme, I love it.
Yeah, this is just says Trevin Diggs. Seeing Cowboys fans call him the best DB in the league after he gives up 300 yards but caught a tip pass. And it's got the Homelander smile. Okay, you know what? That one hurt. That one hurts. Okay.
That's funny because I don't think T Diggs would ever.
No.
That's the thing. T Diggs isn't like that.
And this is when Diggs deleted his social media after getting burned by who was it? Fiocco or?
Yeah, Fiocco.
I mean, whatever.
I mean,
It's training camp, man.
it's training camp, and honestly, like you said, you get the one play where they get burned, and you just know how annoying social media would be. Yeah, go delete it. Absolutely delete it.
We should be more excited about that banging throw or Fiocco actually doing something.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
that should be the talk of it.
That's what we are. But every fucking, it's like the thing that non-Cowboy fans like to remind Cowboy fans. Trevon Diggs gave up 1,000 yards, and it's been 30 years since we've won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, Trey Dog's gonna fucking get out there and kill it next year.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to find because I accidentally have the wrong link here. But we can just, you know what? Let's just skip to
We're skipping the memes. Is that what we're?
Well, I took the wrong link, so that's just how it is. But you don't miss what you don't
Okay,
see.
so you're going week to week best memes?
No. I'm
Man,
just
this
hopping
is a lot
through.
of work that you
I'm
did.
hopping
I love
through.
it.
So this is week
Ooh, I
2.
love a good Phantom Menace
This is
meme.
week 2
Or Attack of the
after the Dallas Cowboys had defeated
The Bengals.
and of course Cooper Rush wins here. So we've got the Star Wars meme.
So
Foursquare.
Padme says that's okay. You'll surely get a
we
win
didn't
week
even
2
read
playing
what-
the awful
you got-
Cowboys with Cooper.
You got to read what he says
Oh,
first.
so Joe, aka Anakin Skywalker Burrow, says we lost the first game of the season, and then Padme says that's okay. You'll surely get a win week 2 playing against the awful Cowboys with the backup Cooper Rush. Macaulay Culkin Burrows looks at her. She looks back, and then
I was in Vegas and I still can't believe I didn't bet on that game. It's good that I didn't though. It's good that I didn't bet on it.
And then we go Joe Burrow without fur coats and Cartier
bad.
glasses.
I mean, it's just a dude throwing a football, hitting his. I mean, they're banging. This says Bengals fan watching their team this year. This is week 2, and they've got this lady just puking on herself in the stands.
Oh,
She's trying to hold it together, but she is fucking.
That is literally.
he was into the Limeritas. He was into the
This is
Limeritas.
AJ and the Limeritas. I just love a good birthday.
I love her composure.
Look at Russell Wilson in the row ahead of him. Just
Looks
back
back
at her.
and doesn't he say
Yeah, what?
shit?
And then
You got this lady with a neck brace sitting in front of her, like.
no, that's
Getting
fucking,
puked on.
That looks like fucking John Lynch with the cowboy collar. Russell Wilson and John Lynch. Not John Lynch. Who's the whatever? It doesn't matter.
John Lynch?
Not John Lynch. Doesn't matter.
Mike Allstott.
Mike Allstott wore the cowboy collar.
Okay.
That's a great.
Next roll here is just Joe Burrows last year versus Joe Burrows this year. Comparing him to Macaulay Culkin, who, for my money, looks like a fun guy. I don't know. I mean, that one's all right. These ones are just bashing Joe Burrow. So, you know, that was fun. Week 3, week 2, we were feeling uplifted, right? After that,
Yep.
that horrible loss. So
The season might not be a complete tank, is what we were feeling like after that big win by Cooper Rush and the Cowboys versus the Bengals.
then we come into week 3 and we got Dak Prescott leaving town after realizing Cooper Rush is the franchise. I mean, this is just a guy riding a horse in, I don't know, a Target or a Walmart. Just kind of
Very
funny.
Walmarty.
Here we go. Oh, video has no sound. Why does this video have no sound?
You got to click the lower right-hand corner.
Oh,
The video doesn't have it. Dak Prescott by
that
week 8
means-
when the Cowboys are 7-1.
So they have just a guy making McDonald's. And look, that was my first fucking job, okay?
Yeah,
And I got fired from it too.
I never was able to get hired. Oh, sorry. I never got hired by McDonald's. I got hired at KFC, and at the time,
Better
McDonald's was paying like $7 an hour, and KFC was paying 11. So guess who was above minimum wage, motherfucker?
I think the biggest meme of the whole Cooper Rush Dak Prescott thing was the fans that actually thought Cooper Rush was going to supplant Dak Prescott. Like that's a meme in itself. That's a Cowboy meme. Like the fans that actually thought because he'd went 4-1, he was the ultimate quarterback and the savior of the franchise, and that Dak or Trash Scott shouldn't play. I thought that was the funniest part about all of the Cooper Rush stuff.
No, the funniest part about the entire Cooper Rush thing was your response mid post game stream and finding out that Dak Prescott was going to be out for multiple games.
Yeah, well, I thought the season was done.
And your rant on other Cowboy fans was perfect.
Yeah, well, because I thought the season was
It
over.
was accurate.
I really did.
Okay, so Dak Prescott leaving town after.
There's sound on these. I don't know why I can't get the sound, but whatever.
Well, that says the video has no sound. So
I've watched these, though. I know they have sound. So this is just an error, which kind of sucks. Whatever.
It's probably because it's on PC or desktop and not mobile.
No, trust me. I looked at these on my computer. They were playing sound, and now it's not. So I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay, but then we move ahead to week 5, where Cooper Rush just keeps winning. Okay.
Oh, well, Cooper Rush that's what he knows how to do. He knows how to win.
I don't.
Oh man, I'm sure this fucking sound on this one was great. So we're seeing Paul Walker walking with, what's it? Not Diggs. Tyrese Gibson. In Too Fast, Too Furious. Now, if you watch Too Fast, Too Furious and you watch the movie as Paul Walker's character, and Tyrese's character as being like former like exes, like lovers.
Yeah.
It adds so much more value to that movie when they give the looks to each other or they have the back and forth. Don't look at them as friends, look at them as actual lovers, and it makes the movie so much better.
That's Lance Harbor, bro.
Yeah, Lance Harbor.
I have no
AJ. So AJ's had some technical difficulties here. Oh, you want me to go back to him? Okay, going back to it.
No, well, it just kind of ruins the whole meme thing if I can't play the fucking sound. That's what's kind of pissing me off.
Hey, that's okay. We'll how about we do this? You don't go through them. Don't show us it. We'll
come
technical
back.
difficulty figure it out, and we'll come back to this in a newer, more
Now, to be fair, it's not the way AJ has it set up. It's literally Instagram saying this video has no sound, so something is not.
I think it's
correct.
probably because my audio is going out. It's something that we'll have to figure out on a technical replay. But you know what? I don't even want to continue because a lot of these require sound. Otherwise, we're just reading headlines.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
it's
well,
not
we're
as good.
gonna finish on a high note with a
Yep.
fantasy football question.
Yep.
If you're drafting first overall, what spot
Ooh.
are you drafting at to take Tony Pollard or CeeDee Lamb? What's the earliest you guys are taking either of those guys? Because you're not taking Dak. I mean, in a one quarterback league, you could maybe argue Dak going in the first. Probably not going to happen. But there's an argument.
Dak's going to be around. I mean, any league, Dak's around the 3rd or 4th round.
In a 2-quarterback league. So in your standard NFL fantasy football league, where are you guys sitting to pull the trigger on either TP20 or CeeDee Lamb? And who would you pick? Would you pick Tony Pollard or CeeDee Lamb?
I think I go Pollard over CeeDee Lamb, just in general, like if he's an option. But yeah, that's a good question, man.
I got an answer. So because if we're looking at the one league with franchise, I already know who. Like I have
Standard league.
Okay,
It's
so
just
standard league. So clean,
just a
clean
snake
slate.
draft, clean slate. You're not keeping anyone for the future.
Where are you in that first round?
That's what I'm telling you. You're supposed to tell me. That's the question.
Oh.
Where would you have to be to take one of them?
Right. Okay. I'd have to be to take CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb or TB20, I'd have to be late first round pick. I'd have to be up in like the 11, 10, 12 spot because
You gotta pick one spot.
10 or above, I'd be picking CeeDee Lamb.
Okay, so 10.
Yeah.
I think I'm
because you get that dually.
I think I'm looking at Pollard at being a 4th to 6th running back, top running back. Like I think there's Henry,
Christian McCaffrey,
CMC, Jones,
Jacobs,
sorry, and Taylor, who have more fantasy point value. There might be another couple guys. That's why maybe 6. So first 6 rounds, I'd take Pollard if I'm not getting any of those guys. First 8 rounds. But I
picks,
think
you mean? First 8 picks?
Sorry, yeah.
I was just say first 8 rounds. TP20 won't be there in round 8 there. So
You never know. And then I think CeeDee Lamb is like top 3 wide receiver, and because I'm such a big fan, I'd be inclined to pick him over Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
Well, I mean, you look at
I might put on my board. Lamb might be the number 1 ranked wide receiver.
Right. Okay.
So what's your number? You're picking one of those guys. 6?
Both the guys top 10 picks, but if Pollard was available in the top, like if Pollard's available, I'm taking him, and then as soon as I can, barring any of those top running backs available, I'm going CeeDee Lamb then if Pollard's not available.
So I'm gonna snipe your guys' answers and kind of steal ads, but he didn't articulate it very well. I'm picking at 12. I'm taking Tony Pollard at 12 and CeeDee Lamb at 13. Boom!
Sorry, yeah, I mean, yeah, that you did exactly what you did it better than what I was.
Yeah, but
saying.
you took him at 10, and then the next pick he was gone.
No, because
So you want the snake? You want the snake? You think Pollard will be there at 12?
Some leagues that you're in are only 10-team leagues, and then other leagues are 12-team leagues. So 10 or when I was saying 10 to 12.
That's what you wanted to do?
Yeah, you're doing I'm talking the last pick.
Ooh, I snagged both of them.
I probably even if you're like at like number 9, I probably would pick.
You could probably get TP20. I think TP20 would be your pick, and you could probably still get CeeDee Lamb. It'd be risky, but you could probably get him.
I think
if you're late, if you're like 8 or 10. You could maybe get him on the roundabout.
I think TP20 will go in most leagues.
I think
like
he's top 12.
I think he's going to go late round 2, early round 3 for most leagues.
No fucking way.
I think so.
No way. He's going to be off late first, early second. There's just too much. Yeah, there's too much upside to him. People are going to see. He was the 6th ranked. He was the 6th ranked running back in fantasy last year.
Yeah, you're right. Guess what?
Without Ezekiel Zeke's not on the team this year.
And you can't even use even use the excuse of like, well, Zeke was on the team last year blocking for him. It's like Zeke doesn't block for him. So
Zeke gone actually pushes Pollard up the boards. But
Which
on that note,
which is great for me because in the one league, in our 17-year league, I probably will keep CMC. So I might go for some TP20. Bye-bye.
There you go. Okay, for the bandwagon boys over there, the meme lord Alex himself.
Guys, I'm sorry.
He's so bad.
Pissed off.
I'm pissed
that was the whole fucking thing. Whatever.
The bandwagon boys cracking them in the studio, and Anth Best's over here. We'll be back Sunday at our usual time for the Sunday service, and we'll give that another college try. All right, have a good night, guys.
Peace.
That was a week.
Week.